G'day folks. Just doing a bit of work on Viki. She's looking like a good little vehicle. Still needs some engine TLC. I think I do have a vacuum leak, maybe a crack in the plastic manifold. I'm not too sure on that one, but I'll work on it. Apart from that, she's pretty damn good. Everything's straight, bodywork's straight. Rear gates had a bit of a repair. You wouldn't notice it, but just looking across the surface there's ripples, and you can see sanding marks, and see there's some old paint, there's some new paint. So it's obviously had the back stoved in at one point. That's been pushed a tiny bit, but if it did come in here, it's completely unnoticeable. Yeah, I've done a little bit of work in here, but nothing serious. She's pretty good. I like it. It seems to be a rite of passage for all my cars, just to get the guts ripped out of them and cleaned. It's really fun. I enjoy cars like this. I'd rather buy an old car than a new one. New ones are boring. There's nothing to fix or do on them. Even the RAV4s needed bugger all. Awesome little cars. Blue Rav's certainly got a nicer feel to it than this one, but even though I haven't driven her on the road yet, I just love it every time I take Blue for a drive. It's just awesome. Betty's a little jumpier and more of a sporty little Rav. She can be a bit of fun too. I've got to get some newer tyres on her though. Those old, somewhat new looking but old all-terrains are actually a bit skiddy in the wet. I tried it the other day, and yeah, definitely needs two new rears because they're worn out, and maybe two new front ones because they're just those agricultural all-terrains which aren't the best at all. So yeah, that's a tow bar mount point. It's a heavy duty bar by the looks of it. It's all made out of 6mm plate and box section. It's made in WA as well. Yeah, Parkside manufacturing. And it's bolted through that rail there and up to there. Yeah, it's on all the main rails. It's a solid little setup. Rear end's a fully independent, obviously. Looks like a 5-link. Muffler's shot. I don't know if it's original or not. It looks original, but it's noisy as hell, so that's coming out. All that's coming out and getting cleaned and redone. But yeah, underneath she's pretty good. Again, as I said before, new tyres and wheels, or at least very, very recent. Needs a good clean up, that's about it. Usual wear and tear. But I'm just pulling these mouldings out for a good clean up. At least being plastics, it's easy to clean. I quite like plastics. I mean, I almost qualified to make this sort of stuff. We just ran out of work and I couldn't finish my apprenticeship. I did get Cert 1 though, or the first part of it. Obtained competency in die setting and operating injection moulding machines they sent to me. I've got a certificate from it. New Skills was my apprenticeship group, and I did an injection moulding, which is making this stuff. And I must say, you can throw this stuff around and it won't break. It's polyethylene or polypropylene, but there's different grades, of course. You go down to the local Kmart and buy a polypropylene or polyethylene. Yeah, it's polyprop, PP. You buy say a washing basket made out of the same stuff, but as soon as you drop it once when it's full of clothes, it just shatters on the floor. That's because it's a rubbish grade of polypropylene. Whereas this stuff here, you can flex it, you can do whatever you want with it, and it doesn't shatter. That's good grade of polypropylene, high impact. Nothing sticks to it. You can pour battery acid on it and it won't hurt it. Battery acid bottles are polyethylene, so you'd be hard pressed to damage this. You might bleach a bit of the carbon black out of the surface and make it look white, but it won't burn through it. Yeah, a lot of people diss plastic cars, but I don't know, they do feel tacky at times. This one certainly has a feel to it, but it's easy to clean and just, yeah, there's no mucking around. Yeah, it feels like vinyl or fake leatherette in the door trims. And again, just a bit of janitor's cleaner, like Shifty on a rag, with a bit of water, like even water it down and everything just comes off, all the muck, all the dirt. and doesn't harm anything. So yeah, definitely a utility vehicle, and everything's fairly well made. It's demister. That could probably be tied. Well, can't really be tied back because the glass also opens. Struts all still work well. They're solid. They don't start to drop. Yeah, nice. And again, straight. Yeah, pads are new, the rotors are nice and thick. I doubt they'd ever fail inspection. You can still see the lip on them. Shouldn't be a problem. And it does have a slightly plasticier feel than the RAV4s, but again, this is an early 2000s vehicle, whereas the RAVs basically developed in the early 90s or even starting late 80s. So it's a different feel, but still a really nice vehicle for the money. You can buy them on road for about $4.5. So it's really not hard to get a decent little Ford Escape or Mazda Tribute, both made in Japan over here. I know they make them in numerous countries, but these are actually made in Japan. So they just use a Ford power plant. Everything else is essentially Mazda. That's a cargo blind by the looks of it. Yeah, roller blind for the cargo area. Neat. Yeah, anyway, let's keep cleaning. Yeah, the spares are remarked Dunlop Grand Trek TG32. I don't know why they put that on there, because it's essentially the same as what I use on the RAV4s anyway. I guess because it's not original fitment size, they have to put it on there anyway. That's my guess. No reason you can't use that platform, TG32, above 80. I'd say it's only because the vehicle never came out with them. They always had 235 70/16s on the XLT, the top spec model, or in this case, the one that had steel wheels, they were 225 70 or 75 15s, and those are 15s. I think they're 235. Where does it say it? 225 70 15. Yeah. So they're OEM size, but 215 70/16 wasn't fitted to them, so I'm guessing that's why they have to put the sticker on it as a temporary use spare. Not, well, most spares are temporary use anyway, but it's not a matching alloy and tyre that you can rotate when you get new tyres. And it doesn't look like it's ever been used. I don't know why there's nibble marks on the jack handle from a pair of vice grips, but I think Viki's been a really good girl and never left her owner stranded at any point with a flat tyre. Good car. And I hope she stays the same for some time to come. Brand new wheels and tyres, they can stay there. And they're good tyres too, not rubbish ones. Not like Betty's tyres. Ugh. I can't replace them fast enough. Trouble is, it's $360 a pair to get Maxxis ones. Blue's currently running Dunlop TG32s on the rear, and Maxxis Bravo 7, I think they're 760 HTs on the front, and they are really good tyres, awesome. But they were $360 a pair fitted, so it does add up after a while, especially when you've got two cars running them. But they are really good tyres, Maxxis. I've had Maxxis on bikes and things before, and they're great. Good value for the money, and I think they're made in Malaysia or Philippines. They're not China tyres, not like the the ones Betty came with, Z-Tex. I think I've seen that tread pattern under a number of different brands, all China tyre. They just put a different brand on them. Whatever brand you want, they'll mould it into the sidewall. Generic tyres, I think they're about $80 each, as opposed to $160 or so for the Maxxis equivalent. You get what you pay for though. And as we run out of light again, being daylight savings and all, that sort of looks right where it is, but unfortunately it's not, because they give you these little storage bins in the centre. I'd almost be tempted to cut all of that out and keep the spare the right way up so you can actually get to the valve and check the pressure when you want to. You don't have to unbolt it and pull it out. I don't know, I might do it. I'll flip it over for now. Given it's never been used and how long it's been since it was out, it's only lost about 18 psi. I've put 38 back into it, and I'll just leave it. I'll leave it as it is, upside down. It's not the best way to do it, but at least I can just get this plastic moulding back in and everything's done. And put the carpet back in. So that's the back corner. All this has been washed, the windows, everything's been wiped down and cleaned. Fold the seats back up and then go onto the front section, really, mid-section even. Maybe tomorrow morning. I'm going away for the weekend, so that'll have to wait until afterwards, I think. But yeah, it doesn't go in. Oh well, I tried. Okay, well, they've got a weird system going here. I know there's a cavity in the underside of that. I'm going to replace this weird locking spider and overcap with a just a piece of machined polyethylene. That way the wing nut's actually on top of the plastic cover with a large flat washer, and the whole lot's clamped down with it. It's really probably the simplest way, rather than running that wing nut all the way down the all thread, because it does take a while to get the spare out to check the air in it, and I can understand why nobody would do it. It's a really annoying process. So I'm going to try and just improve on this a little bit and make a spacer out of some polyethylene rod. I just machine it, bore it out on the lathe, about 13mm, throw it over that threaded rod and clamp the whole lot down together. That'll save any, well, shuffling around and squeaking and other funny noises, and it'll also keep everything safely secured, at least for roadworthy anyway. And yes, spare tyres do have to be clamped down or bolted down or chained down, secured in some way for roadworthy. Taking the threaded rod and everything out and just leaving it free is not acceptable for roadworthy in Australia. There we go, that's much better. I've got some, I didn't end up machining anything yet. I've got some old acetal bushings underneath that just stacked on top of each other. It's not quite right, but once this tub's actually torqued down a little bit, everything stays still, so that's all that really matters. As long as there's a wing nut holding everything in place, they'll pass it. Or even just straps. I could strap the thing down, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, spare parts storage in the middle, all the caps and things that are in there. Just wrap everything in rags so that it doesn't rattle. Very nice. Well, that's phase 1 complete. Thanks for watching. Oh, actually no, I've got to put that trim back on there. But that just snaps down and that's it, so yeah, almost done. Thanks for watching.